Wednesday, December the 3rd, in the year 2025, last meeting of the year. Welcome to Queen Anne's County Board of Ed. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the general provisions, Article 3-305 and 3-104, the Board of Education of Queen Anne's County met in a closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, and any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. To consult with counsel to obtain legal advice and to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. And then can I make a motion to resume open session?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, we do the hard stuff. We're gonna vote for officers. Are there any nominations? Or any either?
I think you start with president, correct?
Correct. We start with president. Any nominations?
I nominate Alexis to be president.
Thank you.
Any other candidates for that position?
Vote Alexis for president.
Okay, the vote is silent. We're looking for nominations.
Any more nominations?
He nominated.
Oh,
Okay, are there any other nominations?
no, there is not for me.
All
Sorry.
right. Well, if everybody agrees.
I was really nervous about having to count under pressure. So.
Gosh.
They need to make it official though, with the vote.
Well, they did it on paper. Let's just keep going.
Can we at least make it official?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Unanimous?
This Capes wins.
Woo! Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I'm about to pass her this stack of papers too. Nominations for vice president.
I would like to nominate Matt Dreyer for vice president.
Any other nominations? Well, that's gonna be fun.
Oh, jeez, I hate it.
I'd like to nominate Carrie for vice president. Carrie Sutherland.
No, it's
Yes, you do.
Mr. Dreyer.
Congratulations, Mr. Dreyer is now the vice president.
Congrats.
And at this point, I get to be anonymous again.
All right, in 2.01, can I get a motion for 2.02 to approve the agenda?
I would like to make a motion to approve the December 3rd agenda as presented.
I
Second.
that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Get the new rotation in.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion for 2.03 for approval of minutes for closed session and 2.04 approval of minutes for open session, both for November 5th?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the closed session and open session minutes of November 5th.
Second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the fun part, awards.
Whoop, whoop. It's a bloody time. Just need to know where we're going.
First year.
There's a lot more to get to what's going on.
Good evening, everyone. So At the award portion of the meeting, up first is our Energizer Bunny Award. This award is given to a staff member or volunteer who keeps on going. It is sponsored by Bayview Financial with Mr. Chip Brittingham, Mr. Wayne Humphreys, if they'd join us up front. This month's winner is nominated by Centerville Middle School Principal Dr. Stacy Rankin. If she would join us at the front too, please. And our Energizer Bunny Award winner is Miss Kimberly Levers. If she would join us too. Dr. Rankin says, Miss Levers is Centerville Middle School's Energizer Bunny Award recipient. Her willingness to do whatever is necessary to help her students not only succeed, but thrive is unmatched. She is a trusted adult in the building for many of our students. As a result, she is the first person they check in with in the morning and the last person they check out with at the end of the school day. Because of her guidance and support, the students she assists are prepared to succeed throughout the day and go home with a positive attitude, looking forward to the next school day. Additionally, Ms. Levers is always the first person to volunteer to help with anything extra for Centerville Middle School. She is the advisor of the School News Crew Club that is responsible for Centerville Middle School social media coverage and yearbook, helps with extracurricular school activities, PFY, school dances, PBIS events, and staff functions. Ms. Levers is the official photographer at all school events, and she attends them all, from band and choir concerts to any athletic competition. Ms. Levers is there to help out and celebrate our students and staff. Thank you for all of your energy and passion that you put into all you do for Centerville Middle School. Congrats.
Great. And let's go there and lift your right just a little further. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Make your arm. Step your.
Okay, and our next award tonight is the Spirit Award. This award is given to an individual who embodies the spirit of Queen Anne's County Public Schools. This award is also nominated by Centerville Middle School Principal Dr. Stacy Rankin, and our Spirit Award winner is Mr. Thomas Heyman. Join us. Dr. Rankin says, Mr. Heyman is very deserving of the Spirit Award. He consistently focuses on putting the spotlight on CMS and has been a teacher and contributing member of Centerville Middle School for 19 years. Mr. Heyman brings the school spirit to Centerville Middle School on a regular basis. Over the years, he has created, organized, and facilitated many school-wide and community events that make Centerville Middle School such an amazing place. Just recently, Mr. Heyman coordinated a Veterans Day ceremony and a field of flags to honor local veterans. Additionally, he worked with local veterans to showcase their personal artifacts in a pop-up museum that each social studies class visited to learn more about the life of a veteran. Each year, Mr. Heyman organizes 2 community outreach events, Fall Thing and Spring Thing. Go to them if you haven't been before. I added that. These events bring local vendors, organizations, artists, musicians, and the community together on the CMS campus. He leads the Upper Shore Regional History Day competition and inspires countless students to enter their history projects and experience success that they never thought they could achieve. For the past 15 years, he has been the advisor for the National Junior Honor Society, where he equips students to continue their academic excellence, positive character, and contribute to the school community by organizing events like assemblies and school dances. Mr. Heyman is not only a history teacher, but he is also the official historian of Centerville Middle School, keeps our social media pages up to date with all the amazing things happening at CMS. He is a familiar face to students, families, community members, and staff. Mr. Heyman is the spirit of Centerville Middle School, and that is why he is receiving the Spirit Award today. Congrats.
Okay, on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And the next award is our Shining Star Award. The Shining Star Award is presented to an individual in our school system who shines. This award tonight is nominated by Mr. Adam Tolley, Supervisor of CTE, if you'd like to come forward. And our Shining Star for this month is Miss Linda Friday. Mr. Tolley says, during her tenure as president of the Chamber of Commerce, Linda Friday exemplified extraordinary leadership and a deep commitment to strengthening the economic and educational landscape of Queen Anne's County. Her vision helped to build bridges between the business community and Queen Anne's County Public Schools, recognizing that meaningful partnerships are essential to preparing students for the future workforce. Linda's collaborative spirit inspired local employers to invest in students' growth, creating opportunities for career awareness, mentorship, internships, and authentic real-world learning. Linda's legacy is defined by her unwavering belief in the potential of young people and her dedication to opening doors for them. Through her advocacy and relationship building, she helped create a more connected and supportive environment where students could explore career pathways and gain valuable insights into local industries. Her work not only enriched the educational experience for countless students, but also strengthened the community by fostering a pipeline of talented, engaged future professionals. Linda's impact will be felt for years to come, making her a truly deserving recipient of this award. Congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Miss Sutherland, to your right again. Yep, there you go. 1, 2, 3. I appreciate it.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, just need to
It all depends on where you stand.
Oh,
Good. Probably wouldn't want to.
That's great.
Okay, 4.01, board involvement. Who would like to go first?
This month was really, really busy for my kids, so I had some events at their elementary schools, which were awesome. We did go to Port Discovery, and we were able to see the second grade teachers in full action with all their, it's like herding cats. I don't know how they do it every day, but it was amazing. It was awesome. We did that. Also, I was able to go to Bayside Elementary for the Veterans Day Assembly. It was amazing. I thought, oh, this will take 10, 15 minutes. It was an hour. They did a whole presentation, the color guard. It was amazing. Principal Deegan did an amazing job of really highlighting the veterans, all the kids that came, their families, their grandparents, had them sit with them. It was fantastic. And then also I got a chance to go to Ken Island Elementary for a Macy's Day parade where they had all the kids put balloons on sticks and walk through the hallway. It was so cute.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
yeah, that was what I was able to get to, and it was well worth it.
I got to attend the Clay Target Team War on the Shore.
Oh, that's amazing.
There were 4 schools, 1 4-H club, 72 kids signed up, and they were doing an amazing job. I do not know what the final results are. I need to get that from Coach. But one of the things that we did have is the United States champion was there. Cole Coppage from Queen Anne's County High School was there as part of the shooting teams. But they all did really well. It was a good day.
What weekend was that? Because I was out of town for
It was on the 8th.
First
Yep.
weekend in November.
I'll go. Attended the SSIC and the CAC meeting. It's an awesome perspective. I've been trying to go every month. The Dr. Schreckenboss hosts. It's good to see what the teacher's perspective and hear from some of the teachers in all the schools, and then followed on by representatives as parents from each of the schools. It is very enlightening. It's fun to go. I think Carrie joined me this past one, so it is good to see. I also wanted to congratulate one of Stephenville Middle School students who was recognized by the commissioners for citizenship, Max Martinson. He was out at a dog park and he was seen cleaning up the dog park and all the, we'll say, waste from other dogs left on his own. Nobody was talking to him. Nobody told him to do it. It was seen, presented to the commissioners, and he got recognized at the last meeting. So I want to say thank you to one of our students in our district. I think that's awesome that you went above and beyond. That shows the parents teaching him well as our school districts molding young minds to do the right thing. So congratulations to Max, and thank you.
That's awesome.
Me. All right. I went to the Veterans Day Assembly at Graysonville. Mr. Watkins and I were both there. They did a great job. It was really neat because the assistant principal is a veteran. I thought he was just very nice. I didn't realize he was the assistant principal, so I had to go up to the end. I was like, "Oh, sorry. I thought you were just really friendly." But anyway, the kids did a great job, and that was neat. And then went to the harvest breakfast, thanks to the Ag Extension office. It was really, really good breakfast. And then I went to Churchill Elementary for Grandparents' Day. I went as a special friend. But thank you to Principal Walbert for the tour of the school. Got to go around, meet a lot of people, a lot of neat things going on there. Ran into some people that we went to the conference with. So anyway, oh yes, and my mom would be very mad at me if I did not say great job to the music teacher there. I think it's Mrs. Efland. It really was amazing, the songs they did. So the program they put on. And I did MAVE ethics training, and I listened in on the Blueprint AIB meeting, which I'm sure we'll be talking about tonight.
Very good.
Okay.
I was able to attend the Veterans Day celebration at Sellersville Middle School, and great job by the 8th graders who organized and put it on. Anybody who's looking for some fun activities, keep an eye out for all your town's Christmas parades, because I know a lot of kids in the schools walk, they ride on floats, they sing, they play instruments. So that's always a good time to make sure you get out and support everybody. So we move to student board members next.
For KI, there's fewer items for December, just because winter break cuts majority of the month out. But the upcoming events are interims come out next week. So Mr. Harding was telling me we want to tell the students to put in missing assignments, get that work in before interims come out. And then we have 2 concerts coming up. We have the Winter Band Concert Thursday, the 11th of December, and that starts at 7 o'clock. And then we also have the Winter Choir Concert the 16th. And I don't know what time that starts, but they'll send all that information out. And then Mr. Harding also wanted me just to mention that winter break starts the 20th of December, and then we come back January 5th. And that's end of break, and that's all for camp.
QA students are working hard and focused as we close out the year. Past events, general updates. Since November, when we met, there have been many positives at Queen Anne's. The fall play, Puffs, was a great production. Shout out to the cast and Miss Martin. QA football defeated Easton a second time to make it to the Elite 8 of the playoffs. Shout out to both KI and QA nursing students. 21 new certified nursing assistants. Upcoming events. The Pride of the Eastern Shore has had several academic and extracurricular upcoming events in December. This Friday, the first home basketball game, along with the Christmas parade in town. On Wednesday the 10th, we have a winter concert. Morgan's Message Club and the Interact Club help families in need for Thanksgiving, and they'll be continuing to do that throughout December. And the December attendance incentive. Over 85% attendance for the month. You will get to participate or cheer on a powder puff type volleyball game / pep rally on Friday before winter break. Overall, things are going well at Queen Anne's County High School, but we are also looking forward to a nice break and coming back ready for state testing and final exams.
Thank
That
you.
is all.
Next we have Dr. Kibler.
Right. So another busy month, like they all are. I was able to attend both high school plays. They were both really fun. Took the whole family out. Congratulate the cast at each high school, as well as the directors and staff members. They were really fun. I actually went Monday night to the Kent Island High School winter dance performance. That was a lot of fun. Very talented students, and it's really cool that they get all levels of students involved in that performance, from the Dance 1 class through the advanced classes. I wrapped up in the month of November meeting with student groups. I have a round table at each of the secondary schools, so all 4 middle schools and the 2 high schools, just to get a pulse on students' sort of take on what's going on in the school system. So it's very helpful, and I appreciate the parents allowing students to participate, and the students stepping out of class for about an hour. I know that it's heartbreaking to leave class for an hour to talk to the superintendent, but I really appreciate the time. I also attended 2 of the Veterans Day assemblies, Sothersville Middle School and Centerville Middle School. Just really impressed with the speakers and the student just attentiveness to what we were there and learning about and appreciating. And I try to make it every year to some different schools, and just really always impressed with those ceremonies. I went to the harvest breakfast as well with Miss Sutherland. That was a good time to celebrate the fall harvest and celebrate with businesses and our farmers in the community. I wanted to let the board know as well that I think it was 2 weeks ago, I attended a Centerville Town Council meeting just to introduce myself as the interim superintendent and just to extend sort of that goodwill and a working relationship with that group. So I did that. And I was also a panel speaker at the local management board's fall retreat with some other community leaders, and just talk about the good things happening in Queen Anne's County Public Schools and how we can continue to partner with other community organizations and businesses moving forward. There we go.
Thank you. Next, we're moving on to our board action items. So for 6.01, can I get a motion for the human resources?
Alexis.
Oh, we,
Skipped.
sorry. I'm jumping ahead here. Are you going to read for us, Mr. Dreyer?
So we're going to citizen comment. We ask all speakers to keep in mind the following guidelines. Speakers should sign the roster, including their telephone number and address. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes in length. Comments longer than 3 minutes should be submitted in writing. Statements to the board should relate to the matter of general policy over which the board has authority. Comments about the actions or statements of individual staff members are not appropriate for public comments and should be referred to the superintendent of schools or board president. If you have any specific questions, the board will make sure an appropriate staff member responds to your question. The board respects your desire and right to convey your message freely, but asks as a courtesy to the board and our citizens that you show respect for all. First, we have Mr. Richard McNeil.
Nice tie.
Richard McNeil, and representing myself and the retired school personnel group. I want to start off this evening. The Maryland at the state level, they sponsor a scholarship grant for needs-based student programs that are not funded locally. And we have been pushing to get information to our teachers to apply for this. This year we had 5 teachers who applied to the state for this, and this is $500 for a project that they have to describe and how it's going to impact and help their school and the students in that school. We also had a winner, and I don't know whether it's been announced here or not, but I'm going to announce the name. It's Brandy Martinson at Bayside Elementary School, 3rd grade teacher. Next Thursday, we've been invited to recognize her and to give her her 50,000 pennies. To which I think it's going to be a $500 check instead of the pennies, since pennies are out. But that's great. There were 85 applications, and this is the second time that somebody in Queen Anne's County has won. She is the only elementary school teacher for her program, and most of them were high school and middle school winners. And so there were 6 regions across the state, and we were one. So congratulations to her and her program for that. We'll have to get her to explain what that's going to be later on. So,
Yeah, that's what we said. We're excited to learn what it is,
Yeah.
more about it.
It's wonderful too. Also, just a quick shout out to all the teams and coaches who made it beyond the regular season. And it's a tribute to our county, I think, for all of that. And I enjoyed going to the football games and cheering them on. And it was a tough one in Baltimore, but they're still going. So on that part. Just as an announcement too, our annual holiday luncheon is next Tuesday, and the superintendent's going to be there. We won't put him on the spot, but you're welcome to that. We have a special program that we're going to do for the preschoolers afterwards. Just want to mention also that for us in the retirement group who are receiving Social Security, we just got notice that it's going to be a 9.6% increase in our Medicare cost with a cost of living of only 2.6. So mathematically, you can see that some of our folks are going to lose money. And I know that, everybody's groceries and everything is going up, electricity and everything else. So might be a tough time for some of our retired group. We just want to keep that in mind. And if we can have no late openings next Thursday, so I can get there on time. You can guarantee that,
I'll
right?
talk to the weather forecast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good holiday and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
We had nobody else signed up. Is there anybody else that missed an offer?
Hello, Amanda D'Onofrio, Centerville. I apologize. I am not really prepared with anything to say. I actually really wanted to be at Centerville Elementary School with my kids tonight, meeting Santa and having pictures taken. But as a mother, I wanted to prioritize this. My daughter has had issues with bullying since she started schools here, and we are all going to have issues with bullying. They are just part of life that we have to get used to because there's no removing them. But we can come up with great ways to deal with them. And the schools here, the teachers do a great job, and there is a lot of good going on for that. But there is another component of it in which we need to be representative of those values for our children. I don't want to get into specifics, and I want to respect your rules and the forum that we're in. But I will say, as a mother and as a woman, I am deeply concerned for our children, especially for our daughters, because I am a mother, and I will tell you, I will not have boys will be boys. I will not have locker room talk, and I will not have it's a joke when it's not funny. Humor can be subjective. My husband likes Jim Carrey, and I like Frasier. That's subjective. But there are some things that fundamentally are not funny. And if you work in any capacity for our public schools and you think that the physical abuse, verbal abuse of women or children is okay or funny, or if you think that the sexual abuse of young women, who, let me clarify, are not young women, they're either a grown woman or you are a child, and acting like a joke went over somebody's head because they don't understand your perverted sense of humor is not okay. And if that is seen within our schools for somebody who works here through social media, it needs to be addressed and it needs to be stomped out, because there may be freedom of speech, but there's not freedom from consequence. And there are some things that have a zero tolerance policy that needs to be upended as swiftly as it's seen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone have a Merry Christmas.
Anybody else like to give public comment? No? All right, now we can move on to current board action items. For 6.01, we have the Human Resources report. Can I please get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Queen Anne's County Board of Education Human Resources report as presented.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, we have 6.02, the Kent Island Swim Team overnight trip. Mr. Pinder.
Good evening, President Capes, Dr. Kibler, board members, executive team. For the record, I'm Sid Pinder, Chief Operating Officer. And with me tonight, I have the Kent Island High School head coach, Ms. Colburn, and Coach Parks. I got to write this down.
You did.
Right? So we were back here in September, and we were seeking approval for the Kent Island swim team to go to Florida for the right before the winter break. And basically, they have found a way to do this a little bit less expensive and cut the cost down and make it more affordable. So we are here again tonight before you, seeking approval for the varsity swim team to travel to Plantation, Florida, to train at the Plantation Aquatic Center with the charter bus departing at Kent Island High School on Thursday, December 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. and returning to Kent Island High School on Tuesday, December 23rd at approximately 10 p.m. Approximately 12 to 15 students and the head coach and assistant coaches would attend a trip. If approved, the swim team would conduct various fundraisers, which they already have, and you also have the attachments to the documents. So basically, all they're seeking is approval to use the charter bus instead of flying to Florida. If you have any questions, both coaches are available.
That was the only change, correct?
It's the only change.
Yep.
And then we're leaving Thursday night instead of Friday morning, so we can still be there by mid-afternoon Friday to swim Friday night.
It's gonna be a fun drive.
It's gonna be great.
Thank you all for coming back.
Lots of team bonding.
I'm sorry.
I just was going to say, thank you for coming back. I just wasn't comfortable with the way we approved the trip the last time. We're fundamentally changing it, going from, flying to the bus. So I just thought the board should.
Absolutely, and we appreciate you putting us on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? No? Can we get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the overnight trip for the Kent Island High School varsity swim team to travel to Plantation, Florida to train at the Plantation Aquatic Center.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Christmas, happy holidays.
Next up, we have Mr. Barraclough for our FY26 capital budget transfer request.
Good evening, President Capes, Vice President Dreyer, board members, executive team, and Superintendent Kibler. For the record, my name is Daryl Barraclough. I am the Supervisor of Facilities and Design. Come before you this evening with two budget items. The first item is a budget transfer, an internal budget transfer within the capital projects scheme. We are requesting the transfer of $96,000 from the FY26 Capital CIP project, the Bayside Elementary School storefront project, transferring money from that project and transferring it to the replacement of the folding wall at Sudlersville Elementary School. This internal transfer increases the budget of the Sudlersville project from $120,000 to $216,000. This transfer supports the continuation and completion of that project. Any questions?
Yeah, just basic math. What happens for the 96,000 that was for the Bayside storefront? Is there anything not getting done now?
No, that project, that was the project that believe we got approved at the last board meeting. That project was funded at $900,000 locally and $900,000 state. So that just the way that the funds broke down, the bids came in a little bit lower than what we had anticipated. So we have money left in that project. We don't need as much as what's left in that project. So we have the luxury of transferring that money to another project that, unfortunately, the other project that we're transferring it to, I'm seeking approval for that later on this evening, and I can go into some of the details on that funding.
I just was wondering how this affected the storefront.
It's not affecting it at all. So it's just, it's money that we have left over after that project is awarded.
Thank you.
Sure.
So the folding wall project initially was quoted at 120, and now it's 216.
It wasn't quoted at 125. That was what we budgeted it at.
Gotcha. And the folding walls cost $216,000.
They do. We can, that's the project that I'm coming for later on this evening for approval, and I can go into a little bit more detail when I come to that one.
The commissioners are supportive of using these funds. When one project comes in a little under budget, they would prefer us to use the money they've assigned.
Correct. They prefer us to go ahead and go through the approval process, recognizing that we are trying to transfer the funds, but they are looking for us to utilize those as CIP within the CIP.
Anybody else have anything?
Question?
No. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Queen Anne's County Board of Education budget transfer request.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have our FY 26 capital fund budget
Okay.
balance request.
Yep, the next one is for a withdrawal from the capital fund balance. This is related to a FY22 aging school project, which is an ASP project that was funded in 2022 for Centerville Elementary School. It was the replacement of the intercom system at that school. That was an ASP project. That project was completed FY 2022. The state reimbursed us the $22,000. That was put into the capital fund balance. We are seeking approval to withdraw that from the capital fund balance and push it into a CIP project, which would be the security hardware upgrades, increasing that FY 26 budget line from $500,000 to $522,000. Any questions?
No questions? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the Queen Anne's County Board of Education. If we could approve the use of capital fund balance.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we have Mr. Barraclough again for the folding wall replacement at Sellersville Elementary School.
Okay. So again, coming before you this evening, seeking contract approval for the replacement of the folding wall at Sudlersville Elementary School. When the FY 26 budget was put together in-house, we went back and looked at historical data that we had regarding folding walls and folding wall replacement. The most recent replacement that we had were 2 folding walls that were replaced in 2012. One was replaced at Churchill Elementary School. The other was replaced at Graysonville Elementary School. The wall at Graysonville Elementary School is the closest in size and scope to the Sudlersville Elementary School wall. And just to put things in perspective, the price that we paid in 2012 for a wall, for a similar folding wall, was just over $61,000. So in 2012, 13 years ago, we spent $61,000 to replace a wall. We got a quote about a month and a half ago for the wall at Sudlersville Elementary School, and the quote came in at $215,000. So that was going back to the budget transfer. That's why we were looking to transfer the 90 or the whatever that dollar amount was into this project so that we could fund the $215,000. Within the narrative here, it goes through when they came out on site and they did the site investigation and those sorts of things. We are piggybacking onto a Montgomery County Public Schools bid with their amendment, which extended the contract through June 8th, 2026. So we are seeking the board's approval to award the contract to Modern Fold of White Plains, Maryland. Modern Fold, these types of folding walls are a very specialized product. There's not a lot of companies that are throughout the United States that do this kind of work. And quite honestly, along the East Coast, pretty much Modern Fold and Modern Door as the local distributor is the only game in town when it comes to these large type walls. So they are pretty much the only producer of it out there. So, any questions on this?
Is this the wall in the gym? Like
It's the wall separating the gym and the cafeteria. It separates, divides in two and stacks on each side of the wall. And just to put it in perspective, it's 68 feet wide and 24 feet tall. So it's a pretty big piece.
Do we get any kind of like cost back for the like scrap metal of the old wall? What happens with that?
It goes. They remove it off site. So
Okay.
what they do with it is, I'm guessing that they do some sort of recycling with it or something to that effect. But it's a turnkey project. So whatever debris, that sort of thing that results from it, they haul it off with them.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Do we have a motion?
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the award to Modern Door and Equipment Sales Incorporation of White Plains, Maryland for the replacement of the operable wall at Sudlersville Elementary School. Fiscal impact $215,987. Budget source FY26 County CIP funds.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody like a break or keep on moving?
Keep moving.
Keep on going. All right, we have our information items. We have 8.01. We have QACEP presentation. Ms. Luking?
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Some of you know me, some of you do not. I am Ashley Luking. I have been in Queen Anne's County since 1984 and started kindergarten here at Ken Island Elementary School in 1989. So to say I'm invested in the school system, I don't know how else to explain that. I taught here, my mother taught here, I now have children here. It's come full circle. So tonight I am here though to talk to you about this nonprofit that I started around 5 years ago. It has seen the deaths of 3 superintendents now, and I am really excited to share it. So here we go. A background, I think when it first started, it was seen as a negative thing that like our teachers didn't have what they needed or that someone wasn't doing their job, and that's just not the case. There's always going to be requests and projects that teachers want to do that are great ideas, and we just can't fund everything. If you think of your own family budget and household budget, there's always something that you have to say no, even though it's awesome. I love that Mr. McNeil was talking about ways for teachers to get things, and I'm really curious about that grant. When did she apply for that, and how long did she have to wait to know if she got that? Because when teachers apply to me, they know like a week. And if they're ordering something from Amazon, they will have it when I get it from Amazon. I don't know any other way that that happens, and it's really exciting to do that for our teachers. I've done over 50 grants. At this point, I can't even give you the exact number. It might be close to 60 now because I've done a few for the school year already. Over $25,000 have gone to our classrooms. Like every penny I volunteer.
And those are all private donations?
Yes, it's all donations. And fundraising efforts that I have attempted. But donations have been more successful, honestly. Other counties in Maryland have these I'm trying to think, Kent County has one, Calvert County has one, Anne Arundel County has one. Usually they are school system employees that are running these nonprofits, and I'm curious how they started. I'm sure they didn't start as school system employees. But most of them are full entities of the school system and provide other services just, besides grants and things like that, scholarship opportunities, things like that. But it is a really novel program for our county, and I'm excited to see, the direction that it goes as a needs-based program. Let's see what else we put on here. So what am I able to provide? I am under Chesapeake Charities, and they will release funds as long as it is in connection to my mission. So the nonprofit mission is academic materials for instruction, supporting instruction. And you guys have been in the school system long enough to know that that can be a really broad request. I assist teachers if they need it in that grant writing process so that their request gets approved. I'd say like, hey, I can't approve this. I'm not going to, submit that, but I can get this approved. So let's reword this. Here's a chart of some items that I've purchased in the past 5 years. Some of them have been like $1,000. Some of them have been $20. The requests vary. But at first, I think people were like, oh gosh, this is going to be so expensive. What are you going to do when people ask for more than you have? And in 5 years, that hasn't happened yet. I've either had the funds available in the nonprofit account, or I've been able to reach out to the right person and say, hey, this teacher has this really cool project and I need $1,500. How can we get this for them? And it's happened. So at some point, maybe I will hit that wall that I can't get the funding that I need, but I'm happy to say, knock on wood, that it has not happened yet. How do teachers make requests? Right now, it's a really basic process. They email the nonprofit, and when I'm saying the nonprofit, it's me. I'm the person that's reading the emails. I give them a Google form. They will hear back within 30 days. It usually does not take that long for me to get back to them. If it's a larger request, I'll either say, hey, I don't have the funding right now, or this sounds really cool and I know there's grants. Let me apply for one and I'll get back to you. The music program at Bayside Elementary School was a good example of this in the spring. She wanted a new chorus riser and keyboards, like piano keyboards for her classroom. It was almost $5,000. And so I was like, let me look around. There's plenty of music grants, whatever. I'll research that and apply for one. It took almost a year and we got the grant. So I was able to get that for her. And I know maybe 2 years before that, the PTA had given her a riser. So she's like, I can't ask the PTA for another riser. Like they just bought one. It was like $2,000. They can't just keep using PTA funds for the same person. But that was really exciting that I was like, I know I don't have that much money to spend on you right now, but I'll find it. Teachers have to agree that their requests are following policies. I think what else? I usually bring the materials to the school with the exemption of the AP biology dissection kits that get ordered. Those don't come in the house. Those go directly to AP biology. No, thank you. Chesapeake Charities does play a role here. They provide a board of directors. It's a diverse group from the community. Essentially, there's checking that I'm not asking for reimbursement for gasoline for my car when I should be buying things for teachers. They're making sure that I'm not physically handling the money. They're pretty much taking care of all the tax and accounting things that I am not able to or don't really want to take care of. They have a staff of, I think, 3 full-time people, and they deal with like hundreds of funds. They're very knowledgeable and helpful. They also send, they send letters to donors when it's over $250. I think they send like a formal letter. Where's money come from? Kendra was asking if it was a lot of donations, and it It is, and the donations have increased tremendously since the nonprofit has been put on the website. So kudos to everyone that had a hand in that, because it increased the visibility and the credibility of the nonprofit, that organizations were like, hey, this is a nice avenue for me to be recognized and get money to the schools. Since, I'm trying to think, it was like a month ago, I put it on there, I've raised over $6,000 just in a few donations by saying, hey, these are some recognition, sponsorship tiers we can offer, and the school system's on board. They want to see this happening. So I'm excited to see what the year has to offer. I've done shoe drives in my garage. My husband would be happy to not do those anymore. They are very successful though, if you have the space. The Teachers Association allowed us to do a paint night at the office here in Centerville. That was nice, and an art teacher helped out with that. I do apply for an external grant at least once a week. I just keep a running tab of all of those that I've applied to. Some recognitions, and I actually have another to add to this list. Just this school year, since I've reached out to people, the Jacob Sloan Foundation has reached the platinum sponsorship again. They're incredible. So they have hit that's $5,000 mark. The Mockingbird Foundation is where our music grant came from for Bayside Elementary School. Amethyst and Opal has become a partner. I can add Shore Elite Physical Therapy to that partner recognition also. And then the new incentive that I've offered is to name a grant. If you can provide $200 and it's an annual commitment, you can name a grant and choose your month and kind of choose the avenue that you want it to go in. Grandma Maddie's Library Fund is my Grandma Maddie. My family donated that one. So in November, which was her birthday, books will be purchased for my grandmother. The Jacob Sloan family will have one in February for the arts. Let's see, some grants that we've awarded already. Middle school, this was at Sudlersville, I believe. We bought them Expo markers, sharpened pencils, headphones that they can give to any teacher that needed them. They typically have students there that are not bringing those things in the quantities that other schools are seeing. November, we got books for English class at Queen Anne's. And then, let's see, December, we're waiting for stations for second graders. Teacher was making 5 different activities for her class, and instead of trying to make 5 new things and then they get destroyed, she asked for lamination materials and things to make those more permanent and have less work for herself. Let's see, I feel like that. I don't know if anybody has seen these. These are the sponsorship tiers. Just leave it there if we have any questions about them, but I talked about most of them. They're pretty straightforward. Moving forward, and I've talked to Dr. Kibler about a few of these things. I would really love to build some recognitions into the beginning of the meeting times to recognize some sponsors or award grants to teachers that have put in these forms and put in projects. They are winning a grant, as informal as it seems. The website will be updated hopefully quarterly as I feel like there's new information to update. I need some support or help how we're going to inform staff. And I don't know how we feel about me reaching out to principals and saying this is an opportunity that is available. I don't need an answer right now, obviously, but there's just an idea that I had about that. I will continue to work to inform the community, and then I'd like to be moving towards awarding grants monthly, either here or, informally, as I've been doing it until now. And I think that's our last, yeah. If you have any questions, that was.
Well, I think you deserve a round of applause. All your hard work you've done. How, if people watching this, anybody, how other than money, they can go on the website and donate, like,
Yeah.
like help, do you need help? Like if people are,
So I've been like working my way around fundraising where I didn't need a big, number of people. I am a stay-at-home parent, so sometimes my schedule is really flexible and sometimes it is not. So sometimes it's easier to just, do things on my own. But in the future, I'd love to do some bigger fundraising where I actually need like people. And I think as this becomes more popular and in the public eye, that would not be a problem. But yeah, right now it's funding, and I'm hoping with that name a grant $200 limit that it's accessible to private donors or businesses that maybe don't feel like they would make a large impact with a $200 donation. But that $200 donation could go to 2 different classrooms at this point.
So this was what I was referencing. I think it was last month or the month before when you were asking about where we could direct people to reach out. And so thank you for being here. I think when we first started talking over the summer, it's like, we need to get you in front of the board. And you're like, I don't know about that. And then a couple of weeks ago, okay, it's time. So,
It's like, all right.
but I'm really excited about the partnership we have working together. You led off great talking about how this isn't a slight to what the school system's providing. It really is showing two groups working together in partnership to bring teachers what they need to help our students. And I love it. I love the website we've created. I love the work that you're doing. And, as you continue to have those ideas, filter them through me, and I'll put you in touch with the right people and continue involving the board.
Yeah.
And I will say, because Chesapeake Charities is great, if anyone watching does make a donation, they send you a receipt for your taxes.
Yeah.
Like it's all handled through them. So
Yeah, their portal is really easy, and it's not like you're Venmoing me or something like that. Like, it's going through the secure portal through Chesapeake Charities, which is what makes them such a valuable resource for me to have. I can do all the fun things and the academic side of it that I feel more comfortable doing, and they can handle all of the things that are important, but why people don't start nonprofits. The last thing, and then I will let you guys finish up and all of those things. I forgot to mention that I just spoke with Queen Anne's County High School about their Skills USA competition. They were looking for sponsors. When I talked to her, I wasn't surprised, but they didn't really know about this program. And I said, like, please let me help you. This is what I've been working towards. So I know that the nonprofit will be able to contribute pretty substantially to that. Money-wise, I just have to figure out details, what they're actually requesting, but that's a really great opportunity for those students to be supported and businesses to see that their money is going to, physical, hands-on learning that our kids will have a special opportunity to do, something to make our county stand out.
thank you for being a champion.
thank you.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
I do have one suggestion for telling the teachers. You should have like the Ed McMahon when you won, and they show up at the door and it's like,
Balloon.
yeah, balloons. Do you need help with that though?
Yes. Yeah.
How old are you?
Yes.
Okay.
How old are you?
What's it, those Webster, wait, what is it? Do you want to talk about
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Ooh, I always was lucky. I always felt lucky.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Next up, we have 8.02, our CTE discussion.
Mr. Powell?
So President
Yes.
Capes doesn't mind. This came about as we've had students that have attempted to see the CTE programs that are in the high school, and I don't know what the selection process is, but we've had students that have been turned away, so they can't even. So I guess the point is, if they don't necessarily see it, how do they know what exists and what they should focus their efforts towards? So if we could get a little bit of a discussion on how the process works, how kids are bundled in. I mean, because we've had children ask and not be able to put their eggs in that basket, so they can't I mean, I know that we don't have a big program. They're slots, right? And sometimes
Yes.
you're on a wait list or whatever, but
Maybe start with our ideas for getting students to be able to make sure they see every program to understand what is out there.
Correct.
And then then maybe hit the,
Absolutely. So I'll start with good evening, President Capes, Dr. Kibler, board members, and executive team. My name is Adam Tolley, supervisor of CTE for the county. So I'm always glad to be invited to talk about CTE. Like Dr. Kibler said, we have had several conversations. It's been on our radar for quite some time to get all of our 8th graders to tour the CTE programs. I know that at least one of the schools has been able to do that through a separate funding source, but it's been on our radar for quite some time. We have identified funding that we are going to be able to do that this year and in the years moving forward. So that is going to be one way that we get all 8th graders out to see the programs, which I think will be greatly beneficial. Since the career coaches have come on, they've been doing a lot of work at the middle schools, career fair at every middle school, and we are also doing some advertising of our programs. I just purchased a very large 4x6, it's called a career tree, that for each middle school, and they will be posted at the middle school, and it shows all of our specific pathways that we offer at the high school. So
the need for funding is for busing the kids from
for
the
busing the
schools
students.
to get to the programs. To see
Yes.
them.
Yep.
and so what we've identified, Mr. Tolley and I started talking probably in August about, hey, as we start getting into the fiscal year 27 budget, we really need to make this a priority for next year. Fortunately, through his work in looking at part of the blueprint funds that goes specifically to career counseling, we have some carryover funds that we're going to be able to use this year, so to jumpstart that even a year ahead, and then we'll be able to continue that in years moving forward. And kind of just zeroing in on this, I think we're going to try to do late January or February, so that it's around the time that the 8th graders are starting to think about high school scheduling as well. So we don't want to miss it for this year's students, so we're going to kind of rush to try to get it in timely for this year's 8th graders, and then obviously have a little bit better planning for it for next year. But now that we've identified it, we're going to move quick.
So currently, who comes to see the CTE program? Just the high school?
So because most of the students don't go into the CT programs till 10th grade at the least, at the earliest. So in 9th grade, there are a couple of programs that they can get into, but mostly, and especially with all the trades programs, they are 10th grade and on. So they have a chance to see the programs while they're there at the high school in 9th grade, and then they are able to, apply for the programs in 10th grade.
And if there's not room on the bus, they're put on a waiting list?
If there's not room in the program, so we have a system, because we essentially, and it's really the trades program. So our like our engineering program, computer science. There's open enrollment, open seating for that. So we don't have a wait list, but it really is our trades programs now that have a wait list. And so we essentially have about 36 slots. So we have 18 students that go in as the first year, and then the 18 students move on to that second year. And that's really 18 in our facility is really kind of pushing it, especially looking at our welding program, where we don't even have enough welding booths for 18, enough room for them. But we have pushed to get 18 students in there. So I would love to get every single student that applied into these programs, but we have a lottery system now that we have implemented to get those students in, as equitably as possible, and it's tough to turn away. But they are put on. They have a second choice of a program, so if they don't get in, they can go to that second choice, and if they say, no, I want to stick with carpentry or welding, then they get put on that waiting list. And then we try to prioritize students as they get on in their career, if they're a junior. So we want to get them in the program so they can complete the program by the time they're a senior.
So there's actually a waiting list for the 9th graders that are not able to come see the program right now. I don't know if you're aware of that. At Ken Island, there is anyway. So you were allowed to sign up to go on the trip, and I guess there wasn't enough room to get everybody over there. So I really just wanted to make sure that any child in 9th grade any student that wanted to see the CTE program, we should figure out a way to get them over.
Yeah, and that has been a trip that has been handled by the guidance department there. And when we added our career coach, we kind of got a little more involved. So I did talk to our career coach the other day. We have added another bus onto that trip, and I actually just talked to Mr. Pender about being able to fund that and get the students over. So yes, we do have a second bus, and we certainly don't want to turn anybody away. And we have the funding. If we need to add a third bus, we'll add a third bus.
Great. Yeah,
absolutely.
I just want to make sure every student can see it.
Absolutely.
And then adding the 8th graders on, that'll be great. And that's a mandatory field trip. That will be.
Everyone will go.
Yeah,
It's when we got the blueprint funding, we were able to get the students into junior achievement, which has been great. So all the 7th graders go to junior achievement, and 8th graders go to the junior achievement Inspire event over in Salisbury. So they get that, and then they'll be able to take this trip to the CT program. So they're getting a lot of it. Hopefully, we will have our dedicated middle school career coach on board very soon, and then she will be at the facility at all the middle schools. So we've made a lot of progress in the middle school area, which is very crucial for them to get that exposure to see what's out there, so they can sign up.
So looking at the bigger picture, we've got a feasibility study going for a location for an actual CTE school. Staffing, we're lining up or talking about how we're going to staff those positions, because if you have a whole entire school as opposed to a wing, that is what we have now in a high school, how are we're making plans to expand that program and make it bigger, and there'll be more.
So I have a couple questions. First, the meeting on the 16th still going with the commissioners and Chesapeake College, correct?
As far as we understand.
As far as we know, yes.
What does that expansion look like with the Chesapeake College and expanding for our students in that role outside of just what we have here? Because that kind of goes into what she's saying, like it's allowing us another avenue to get students in that are on the wait list.
Sure.
That's not going into another school or building another facility. But on top of that, have we reached out to the other neighboring counties and are looking at with our commissioners and getting the other commissioners and creating a technical school, like a VOTEC school, that can be utilized by multiple counties so that Queen Anne's County is not the only one footing the bill, not the only one providing teachers, but are also allots basically an Eastern Shore VOTEC school for every county that could, they bust the students in?
Yep, that was a project that when Linda was here, she worked on that project with Commissioner Wilson, which was the Project Bright Future, where they had talked about building a regional center and having the all the schools there. I don't know where that stands. There's a lot of logistical pieces to that, so I don't know where that part stands as far as the regional. The Chesapeake building itself, and we are utilizing Chesapeake with especially with our welding students. We had students that were on the wait list. We can push them over to Chesapeake. We had transportation lined up through County Ride so they could get to Chesapeake at zero cost. So we're utilizing that. And I don't know, so the meeting on the 16th will be good to see where they are with that building and the timeline, because I know that the timeline has been pushed back, and their project has been scaled down as well. And so I don't know exactly what programs they have been finally approved for. So there will be areas for them to supplement what we have, and us to get our students over there. But there's also going to be areas where they don't. So I know that they're not putting an automotive program over there. So that's where a facility of our own or expansion or renovation could really come in and help to get more students through our programs.
I would just add, I know this is as much a fact-finding meeting for Mr. Tolley and I, just to get an update on where they're at and their planning. I know that building at the college is all 5 counties working together. So not at the high school level, but at the college level to try to support all 5 school districts. And I know that Mr. Tolley and I are a little concerned just about that, because we could probably fill it just with our students. Absolutely. And we're going to have to compete with others. So, we're very interested to see in what programs are going to have, how many of our students are going to be able to commit to. I know our commissioners are as well. I think the commissioners are putting a lot of hope into that building, that it helps them, and it might potentially relieve the need for us to have our own building or not. You know, it is in the capital plan, but that's why we need to get this conversation started, or maybe reinvigorated, I guess. Because the project for our own building, and I brought this up with Mr. Barricklow, it's kind of just kept getting kicked in our capital improvement plan. And when I met with Mr. Pender and him, I said, we can't just keep kicking this. We need to have this meeting with the commissioners and decide if this is going to potentially be a reality or not, because we can't just keep putting it down the road. We need to your point, we need to know where we're going with this and if it's feasible or not.
We got the invite as well, so I know I planned on being there, so I don't know if any of the other members wanted to join me in that meeting on the 16th as well. I don't know if you guys bypassed it or saw it in your invites. It's a CTE discussion with...
I think we can only still have 2 members.
Yeah, 2 members. I said one, right? So it's a CTE discussion that was brought on by the commissioners to Chesapeake College along with Dr. Kibler and Mr. Tolley. And it's kind of a discussion of the expansion of the program over at Chesapeake College. So I don't know if one of you guys want to join me.
I think Ms. Capes, were you planning?
Yeah,
I think Ms. Capes was
yeah.
planning on it.
I accepted it.
Good.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tolley.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Barricklow for our capital improvement program update for 2027 through 2032.
Good evening. Again, for the record, Daryl Barricklow, Supervisor of Facilities and Design. This evening, I wanted to give you an update on the CIP for fiscal years 27 through 32. You may recall 2 months ago, I came before you in October and sought approval and gained approval for the CIP for those years for submission to the state. That preliminary submission was made to the state. As part of the process, once we obtain board approval for the CIP, we take that request and go to the county commissioners, and we seek approval, or actually we seek a support letter from the county commissioners supporting our FY27 endeavors for the CIP. We had conversations with Mr. Mon and other representatives from the county regarding our 27 CIP, and I knew ahead of time our CIP was a little heavy on some projects. We have a lot of needs, and this is just looking at the state projects. We did go to them with 6 projects on the 27 CIP agenda. They had requested that we take another look at that and try to take a few projects off of that. We did take a look at that at the meeting, and what we chose to do was to defer 2 projects, the Graysonville Elementary School, or I'm sorry, the Mattapeake Middle School sloped roof project and the Centerville Elementary School fire alarm projects. We did defer those 2 projects and push them to FY29. So what you'll see in the information packet is the fiscal year projections for the 6 years out. When we do defer projects like that, it has a ripple effect throughout the whole CIP. So when we start pushing projects further out in the years, it forces projects in those fiscal years to push out, because we try to keep as close of a balanced request from the state and from the county as possible. So what I've done was I took the CIP that was presented and then inserted the changes. I highlighted the changes in the orangish color, the orange yellow color, and you'll see the changes that were made. 3 changes to 29, 1 change to 30, 1 change to 31, and 2 changes to 32. I think one of the things that was important to point out was that the Centerville Middle School architecture, engineering, design funding was discussed with them, and they were asking about the possibility of pushing that to 28. I made it pretty clear that I didn't really want to do that. That would basically delay that project from another year for getting an architect on board. So they did leave that in 27, and they did sponsor the letter indicating support. We did receive preliminary approvals from the state a day ago. I'm still looking at that. They are not looking at approving everything at this point, but that's pretty much par for the course. Dr. Kibler and I will go, we'll have to prepare a rebuttal or an appeal to the state. We'll do both a verbal presentation and we'll do a written presentation on that appeal, and we'll seek full funding for all 4 of our priority projects. And hopefully we'll get all 4 of them because the county has indicated their support. So with those changes, I just wanted to bring the board up to speed on that. The other thing that's really important to keep in mind is that the dollar numbers that are presented in the CIP, as everybody kind of saw tonight with the things that went on with like the folding wall at Sudlersville, these things are very fluid in nature, so they are going to change. Sometimes like this, they changed in 2 months. So the dollar amounts are going to change, sometimes for the better. For example, the Centerville Middle School project, you'll see some funding on that from a construction and design standpoint that was presented in the CIP. We've applied for a $850,000 MEA grant to help assist with some of the design funding. That would basically lighten the load from both the state perspective as well as the county perspective. The idea behind that is to go, as I said during the CIP presentation, is to take that to a net zero design. If we take that to a net zero design and we achieve net zero design, the county, or the state will participate at a funding level of 55% instead of 50%. So that additional 5% on a $64 million project is pretty substantial. About 53 million in construction dollars. But so, any questions on the information?
I have a question. With the state's, let's say, budget issues, can any of that affect us, or is this money already budgeted all the way out?
They have a set dollar figure from a CIP standpoint that hasn't really changed a whole lot over the years. It hasn't gone down, but it also hasn't gone up with a lot of inflation that we've seen. So what they do is they go through a series of reviews. The review that we just got a couple of days ago was their 75% review. Then what they do is they have all of the counties come and beg for money, and then they go back and reevaluate it. Then they prepare a 90% review, and they kind of give everybody a little bit more. And then they go through the whole process again. And then in late March, April timeframe, they come out with a 100% recommendation, and we'll know what we're going to get. Sometimes we get everything, sometimes we don't. Like with last year's request, we got everything that we were looking for with the exception of a roofing project. We pretty much knew we weren't going to get the roofing project, so we took the CIP money that the county had committed to it and distributed that into local projects. And then we applied for a grant, which is a different pot of money for the Kennard Roof project. We got notification that that was approved a month or so ago. So that's why that is now a 27 county request, and that's why they committed to that money. So it's kind of a juggling game, and they're moving money from a lot of different pots to try to pay for things.
I just want to publicly thank the commissioners for their letter of support for the FY27 projects, especially the Centerville Middle School, just because I don't want to see that get delayed anymore. So I'm really thankful for that.
Very good. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, it's
No, it's information.
Good?
You're good.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Have a nice night. Next up, we have Dr. Kibler for 8.04, Accountability and Implementation, Board Blueprint Update.
Okay. So last month, this was an agenda item as well. We were talking about the Accountability and Implementation Board and the Blueprint update. I shared with you all just key takeaways from our October district review that we had with the AIB, and I informed the board that there was the potential that the district might get some warning letters potentially, which could potentially mean that we would have some funding withheld from this year's fiscal budget if we were not implementing certain sections of the blueprint. I am very happy to report that at Monday's AIB meeting, their special meeting, that Queen Anne's County Public Schools did not get any warning letters, so we are not at risk for FY26 of having any funding withheld.
Okay.
With that said, good news, there's always some other news, right? So with that said, I was called at 9:30 p.m. on Sunday evening to be given a little heads up, and was told that while we would not be getting any warning letters, we were going to be getting some communication from the AIB potentially, and that did happen on Monday at their meeting. And so what we received or will receive from the meeting are letters of notice for 3 items for Queen Anne's County Public School. The first is one where we thought we might get for the warning letter is on our minimum school funding budget for fiscal year 25, where I informed the board that it's not that we weren't spending the money appropriately according to blueprint statute in FY25. It's just that our accounting procedures weren't moving quickly enough in FY25 for a couple of the statutes. So we are going to get that notice that happened for FY25 like we knew. I'm happy to report while we were on that list for FY25, if you look at their graphics for FY26, we are not having that issue anymore at FY26 and moving forward. Mr. Watkins not here tonight, but thank you to his leadership in our finance department. We are moving in the right direction there and are well prepared to report appropriately of those blueprint statutes. The next 2 items, we are getting the notice letters, like I mentioned, for our MCAP scores. The AIB has decided, even though we have MCAP reading and math from 3rd grade through 8th grade and high school algebra and ELA 10, they have chosen to look at from blueprints inception, the 2021-2022 school year to last year, school year 24-25, looking at 3rd grade ELA and 5th grade math, and if there has been any downward trend in that time period, districts would receive a notice letter. And we are receiving one for 3rd grade ELA because our scores have dropped, like I have indicated when we had our MCAP presentation, a few state of the data. I think that was the October meeting, if I believe. So we did have a drop in 3rd grade ELA as well as 5th grade math. The 5th grade math drop was 0.1% over that time period. That is 0.1%. Obviously, we'd rather our scores go up, and I questioned why for a 0.1%, but they decided they needed to draw a line somewhere, and that threshold was going to be any negative number. And so that
And what does the letter say?
we don't know yet. I don't have
Okay.
it. I'm just warning.
But is it like this is what's happening, or this is what's happening, and
It's
this is
what-
what we're going to do?
It's just a notice. So they are going ahead, and their authority is if they feel like we're not implementing a piece of the blueprint or our academic achievement is not where they would like to see it, they could withhold our funds until we have some sort of a plan in place or implement, depending on what the warning letter is for. They've already told us that's not going to happen for us this year. But this letter of notice is just saying, hey, I'm assuming, hey, we see this and we want you to know we see it and we're watching it and we expect. It's the same conversation that we had with them in our one-on-one meeting. And we talked about last time and when we did the state of the data too, that it's not something we can be happy with. We are a top 10 performing school district in the state, number 2 on the Eastern Shore. I do not, and none of us should be satisfied with our numbers going backwards. We need to reverse that. It is very clear when you look at the drop, it happened 2 years ago when we shocked our system, taking math and reading specialists out of our schools. And I'm not saying that's the exact reason, but it's pretty interesting timing that that happened. And so it's a priority of mine. My administration knows that. The principals had it as we started the budget meeting the past 2 days. We need to look at bringing that back because I think the evidence is clear. As well as other initiatives that we have got going forward. So I will forward those letters to you as soon as they come in. I would expect that they might ask for some follow-up and might want to talk, and we'd be happy to do that. Maybe they'll ask us to formalize some of the conversation we had in that October 16th meeting with them so that the whole board sees it. I can't speak to it. This is all new to us. And I would like to thank the AIB. They could have withheld funding from not just us, but a lot of districts for like minimum school funding and how we had budgeted the accounting for last year, but they recognize that it's new for all of us and that we're all learning. And that's why they chose to go the route they did this year with it. And I'm very happy that Mr. Watkins has us in a place that won't be, should not be an issue for us moving forward.
Well, thank you. You're still in the hot seat for elementary grading.
All right, that's good. So I'm excited about this one. I just wanted, this really is, well, it is an information item, but I want to keep the board informed of some things we're doing around elementary grading in the district. As you know, one of my priorities for the year is student achievement in general, getting back to an academic performance focus in Queen Anne's County Public Schools. One reason, what we just talked about. This elementary grading goes along with that as one piece of something that I want to see starting to change. Since I've been an employee in Queen Anne's County Public Schools, I'm in my 5th year now. As a parent and just hearing in the community, I've heard a lot of complaints is maybe not the right word, but I've heard a lot of discussion, questions about grading at the elementary school level. And that ranges for looking at things of why do we have trimester grading and not marking period grading? Progress reports for elementary school. Any of us that have elementary age students, parents think the progress reports are too long. They're hard to understand what it means. As well as why are we not preparing some of our elementary school age students at the later grades, like 4th and 5th grade, going ahead and having letter-based grades so that they're ready when they go and make that jump into middle school. So these are just some of the things that we've heard. And so I wanted to take a look at how we grade elementary school students in the district. We did have a committee on this. It was 2 years ago, I believe. It was formed. The committee started work on this. We had an assistant superintendent transition in the middle of the year. And that committee, that work just kind of screeched to a halt. I think it's important to bring it back. And so I've asked Dr. Schreckengast to lead a group, to reorganize that group, and to look at grading at the elementary level. The group she has includes teachers, administrators, parents, and has also included a survey to the district to all of our teachers and our elementary teachers and elementary age parents. I'm going to turn it to her in a second, but right now it's looking like we don't necessarily need a policy change. Some of the things that we're talking about in the district can be done through the regulation, but I'm going to let Dr. Schreckengast talk a little bit more about where we're at.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kibler. So we did compile a very representative group of teachers, parents, and administrators, as Dr. Kibler said, including teachers of early grades, intermediate grades, special educators, and unified arts teachers. And also, teachers on this committee now had participated 2 years ago on the committee, and we also have a teacher who participated back in 2015 when we created this policy that has us on trimesters and standards-based grading. So it's a very helpful group of people with a lot of historical knowledge. The first thing that we did was look at the policy and determine the policy is fine as it stands. But as we began to compare our regulation to neighboring districts, we found 2 significant differences. One is that our every elementary grade for us is standards-based, where in 3 neighboring districts, they give letter grades 3rd through 5th, and in 1 neighboring district, they give letter grades 1st through 5th. The other major difference is that in all 4 of those districts, they operate on a quarterly schedule rather than a trimester, just as our middle and high schools do. So with that, we prepared a survey that polled all elementary teachers and all elementary parents, asking them their preference for a grading schedule, quarterly, trimester, or no preference, and also if they preferred standard-based grading for 4th and 5th grade or letter grading for 4th and 5th grade. As of 4 o'clock today, when I pulled this data, we had 104 teacher respondents, 482 parent respondents, and interestingly, about 79% of parents in 5th grade prefer a letter grading system. 81% of teachers prefer it. In 4th grade, 68% of parents prefer letter grading and 69% of teachers. So they're aligned in those groups. When we look at quarterly versus trimester, parents, about 69% of parents said yes to quarterly, with 24.3% saying no preference. So about 93.4% positive for a quarterly switch with parents. Where teachers, on the other hand, about 52% said they prefer quarterly, 12.5% no preference, but that's about a 64.4% positive, and then 35.6% of teachers preferring trimesters. So next steps for us, this survey will be open until the beginning of next week. Our committee meets on Tuesday next week. We'll review survey results and then begin looking at the regulation to see what changes we would suggest there. Regardless of what happens, we know that our progress reports need updating. There are new standards coming from the state. There are comprehensive literacy and math policies that are going to impact how we report to parents. So all of those things would be in the works in the spring.
As being the parent of a child who went to Kent Island Elementary that's now 22, I remember when it went from grades to like 2+, 2-.
Yeah.
And so I remember the transition. And then I think at the same time they went to the trimester. Was there a reason why it was done at that time in other schools? Like, what was the data that says, I mean, I guess not data, but like, what was the reason why that it was switched for the elementary grades, not just in our county, but clearly other counties did it as well, from going from letter grades to the plus, minus, and goals related? Was it just, because as a parent, it was a little bit more confusing. And the teachers do an amazing job of providing these reports, but as a parent, it is pretty lengthy to read and a little confusing.
And that was one of the discussions we had. Who is the progress report for?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it for the parents? Then it needs to be an accessible document that helps them really understand the progress that their child is making and expect it to make.
Right. Okay.
Do you have a sense of, for those teachers that wanted to stay with the trimester as opposed to going to quarterly, why?
So the feedback that I got, and I got very minimal on that, but what I've heard so far is in the very early grades, they find it difficult to judge progress in such a short period of time, from the beginning of the year to the first quarter. I think another fear is the workload of an increased opportunity to report. But what we know is that the more we're in touch with parents, the better our relationship is going to be, the better students are going to perform. And I think we also know that through our multi-tiered systems of support, students who are struggling, it's a requirement for us to be communicating with parents about their student progress. So I think we'll be able to address those concerns.
Okay.
And I would also say, hopefully, with the work that we'll do in the spring on sort of redoing the progress reports, hopefully that will lend itself to reducing the burden a little bit on teachers, even though it'll be an additional time they have to do it per year.
Do the middle school and high schools operate on quarterly or trimesters?
They're on quarters.
So wouldn't it make sense to operate cohesively?
That's what makes sense in my head, Mr. Dreher.
We also acknowledge that students with IEPs get quarterly reporting. Our MTSS system is set up for reporting each 6 weeks, so it does seem to align well.
Just make sure I wasn't the only one.
So I'd like to let the board know too, just so there's always a lot of moving parts in the school system, right? So Dr. Schreckengoss, working with the CAC and SSIC, is starting to design next year's school calendar as well. Based on the results of this survey, we are starting to put that calendar together with the thought that we'll probably go to the marking period. So as we start talking about school calendar for next year, you will see that reflected at this point, and we could always shift back if we have to. But it seems like that's the direction to go.
And that's something, if the change was decided to be made to go back to letter grades for certain grades or not, and quarterly quarters, is that obviously something they would probably do at the start of a year?
It'll be for next year.
Okay.
All this planning is for next year. So even if we make changes to the progress reports in the spring, Dr. Schreckengoss, it would not be my assumption that we would make any changes. It would be start fresh with next school year.
Yes. Because another thing that we discussed is the need to ensure consistency across classrooms, schools, that an A means the same thing in one room as it does in another. So we'll need to work on that.
Maybe this isn't I've gotten, well, it kind of comes from myself and I've heard it from other people. When they go from elementary school, obviously the grading is different in middle school. How come, which to me this kind of blows my mind, that a kid could not turn in their project, their homework, and still get a grade for it and not a 0? Where does that come from? So they still get a 40% even though they did no work and turned nothing in.
That's a grading policy.
So perhaps work on the middle school grading policy
So
next.
is that teaching our students that as they grow older, they can do nothing and still be rewarded? I feel like that's not a...
I can tell you the philosophy behind it.
Okay.
The philosophy from behind it is just to make sure that when that happens, that a student doesn't dig themselves such a hole that they can't recover from. Agree or disagree, philosophy behind it.
Is that a county policy?
It's very common across the state. I've worked in a school district that we had it.
It's the standard.
Yeah. It was
My kids would
no less than a 50
have a
there.
rough night.
I don't understand. I'm not saying we are, I'm just saying society as a whole.
So are there any questions on the elementary grading discussion? Like I said, it does look like the policy itself is fine. So most of this stuff will happen through the regulation and other changes. You all know by now that we're going to continue to keep the board informed of all of this. We're not making these decisions in a vacuum. It's why we already had the committee going, asking the survey for parent and teacher input, because I have the team approach to all of this, and we'll continue moving forward and let you know how the work unfolds.
Thank you. All right, we have FY26 budget update next.
So Mr. Watkins couldn't be here this evening. Expenditure report and summary, the detailed and summary expenditure report are posted for your review. I can attempt to answer questions. If the board does have any specific questions, I might ask to get back to you. So just so I don't speak out of turn and Mr. Watkins get mad at me. I will tell you as well, we spent 2 really good days together as an executive team, Monday and Tuesday, meeting with all of the principals and supervisors individually to start talking about budget needs for FY27. Having a A&S meeting next week, which will include a budget roundtable, and we'll talk about summary of that. So we are already talking about FY27 when we're not halfway through FY26.
Line item 7, student
On the summary.
on the summary page, student personnel services. We're at 96% spent.
That's so we can get more detail on that. The student the student services, that's most of those funds are going to be because they're encumbered because it's all in staffing.
Gotcha.
Not all of it, but that's why you see that so large there.
Okay.
Mostly encumbered.
On the budget, are you going to do a budget roundtable with staff such as previous did?
So we have that next Wednesday with the administration?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Where
next
you get a
Wednesday.
representative from each of the schools.
Mhm.
you know, so-
Yep.
Okay.
So that's
Did we
next,
decide last meeting who was going?
I think so.
I thought we did.
I thought we did. I
Okay.
thought you were going.
I think,
No,
I think it's me from, isn't it, 1 to 3?
Okay, I remember, I thought we discussed it, 'cause I went
Somebody
last
else
year.
wants to, they can.
No, I went last year, and so I knew it wasn't me, but I thought we.
Yeah, we-
Two.
Okay.
So, who are the two?
I can go, but I would like to give someone else an opportunity.
I went last year, so you guys, I just wanted to see if we were doing it and if we had representation.
Found the notes.
So, yeah.
Miss Sutherland said she would attend, and we were pending on the second member.
Oh.
What day is this? Which day?
December 10th, 1 to 3 p.m. in this room.
I can attend, but I would like for whoever wants to.
I can't attend in the morning, so, if you guys.
Do you want to go, Matt?
Do you wanna go?
1 to 3.
So that's the same day as are we having SSAC and CAC this month? Okay. Do you guys want to go? No? Really?
I mean, I would love to go, but I'm not going to.
Then go.
Okay.
Then you're going.
There you go.
There you go.
You're
She
volunteering.
would love
One
to
on this
go.
notepad.
Right.
Yeah, take it back.
Okay. I was gonna say if it's the same day, I might as well go. Full of a cough.
And just expectations for that. So unfortunately, the date we chose, usually we have representation from the commissioner's office, but they are at their Mako conference at that time, so they won't be able to attend. So what we will be doing is kind of a summary of that budget roundtable. When we have our liaison meeting with them in January, we will share that with them at that time. They were sorry to not be able to attend, but didn't want us to hold up our process.
All right, up next, 8.07, second read of policy 410, employee use of social media.
So we have the second read of the employee use of social media policy. To date, there have been no public comments on the policy proposed changes. And we can take any feedback if the board has it.
And this will go back for 30 more days for the list. It will go to action item.
It'll be an action item at the January meeting. And so because this change reflects the regulation, sometimes we go ahead and change a regulation right away if we're making a change. I have not signed the regulation change pending the change with the policy.
Okay.
So I would do that at the same time.
Anybody have any questions?
Nope.
Would anybody else? We have public comment. Anybody like to give public comment?
Anyone?
Nobody out there?
I really like the comment to keep moving.
All right, so we have our commissioner liaison meeting next week. Is that still going to be at 3 o'clock? That's the new
It's
time?
3:30.
They changed the time till 3:30, but it's going to be in this room.
3:30, 4:15
And you're
here.
going to that?
I can.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, I know who's
Yeah.
going to that.
That's the 9th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going.
Yeah, I can go. Since you guys are going on Wednesday,
You're going to-
I'll film on Tuesday.
I hadn't planned, I mean,
Yeah.
What
I
day
thought
is
we
this?
decided last.
Yeah, who's going to the
I
commission?
want to get
The last one was
Me and
at 3
Carrie.
o'clock.
so it's the 9th at 3:30 in
The
this room.
9th at 3:30 in here.
I cannot do it.
Yeah. We can go, Shane.
Yep, Matt and I can do it.
All right, and then we have the following day on the 10th, SSIC first, and then the CAC.
That's
That's,
Yeah, we're not-
it's
We're not doing that?
That's not
It's
happening in
not till
December.
January.
Okay, go into January will be the next one?
January
Okay.
14th, you said? Yeah.
We're just leaving this language always there.
Okay.
Yay.
All right, and then our future meetings, our next scheduled public board meeting will be January 7th at 6 p.m. on 2026.
I won't be here. I told President Ben, but I'll tell him. You.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So can we get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second, aye.
Who second?
Excited.
Okay.
Just trying to put that in my calendar so I don't forget about next Tuesday.
And we're done.